Welcome you to the class of biology. Dear students, I would ask you to please report your attendance quickly and we'll get started. Centers, please report your attendance. Shillong students, please report your attendance quickly. Okay. So dear students, we'll start from where we left the class in the last session. I was teaching you about kingdom Plantae. Okay. And we had done quite a lot. You would remember that we had finished about bryophytes, right? Students, you haven't reported your attendance yet. Please do that quickly. I hope you can hear me well. All right. So I hope someone does that. Anyway, let me continue with where we had left the last class. In the last class, we had studied that mosses, when we talk about the moss life cycle, okay, so moss life cycle, that basically includes talking about the sporophyte phase, the gametophyte phase, okay. So sporophyte phase is that phase which produces spores, gametophyte phase is that phase which produces gametes, and in the case of moss, the sporophyte, okay, thank you Shillong. The sporophyte phase that is produced, it consists of three parts: foot, seta, capsule. Capsule produces spore, spore falls on the ground, spore produces a filamentous, actually it produces a filamentous generation, and that filamentous generation is called protonema. Protonema grows into male and female gametophyte. If it is a single one, then it grows into a single plant having both male and female gametophyte. Male and female gametophytes are produced on male and female branches. These branches will produce their gametes. The gametes will fuse, they will form zygote, zygote will form embryo, embryo will form sporophyte on top of a gametophytic green branch. Okay, yeah, so this is a cycle. Cycle of events starts from the spore. This is a spore. Spore germinates on moist ground, falls on moist ground, produces a green colored filamentous protonema. It is called protonema. Protonema stage. Protonema represents the first spore represents the first cell of gametophytic generation. Okay, the first cell of gametophytic generation represented by spore. Spore produces protonema. Protonema gets broken into many parts. Each part grows into secondary protonema. This is the primary protonema. Primary protonema on fragmentation produces secondary protonema. Secondary protonema grows into a new filament. It further breaks down into tertiary protonema, and tertiary protonema grows into female gametophyte. This female gametophyte can also contain the male branch. So then it will, according to the condition, we call it monoecious or dioecious. So in one condition, both male and female branches grow on the same plant. They can grow separately also, but both will develop from protonema, whether it is male one or female one. Okay, and because each protonema is getting broken down into many parts, each part grows into a new protonema. Then this protonema also breaks down into many parts, and then tertiary protonema comes. So because of this fragmentation habit, each single spore produces thousands of protonema, and thousands of protonema grows into thousands of gametophytes or adult plants. And because of this reason, mosses are gregarious in nature. Gregarious means growing in groups. Have you seen mosses? Everybody has seen mosses, and mosses are gregarious in nature. So I told you why they are gregarious in nature. Students, do you understand the life cycle of bryophyta? Please tell me now. Do you understand the life cycle of bryophyta? Yes? Do you understand the life cycle of bryophyta? Please let me know if you haven't been able to understand it quickly. I will repeat it again for you. Is this life cycle of bryophyta clear to you? Yes or no? No or yes? Please tell me quickly. Look, we have done this in the last class. Okay. All right. Please give your responses quickly. Bryophyta means mosses and liverworts. Bryophyta is of two types. Plant life cycle starts with production of male-female sex organs. Okay, so you can take a look at my notes also. I give these notes to you. As I am going to finish plant kingdom, I am going to give these notes to you. Alright? Okay, so mosses, everybody has seen mosses, and I believe because you have seen mosses, there should not be any great difficulty in recognizing them as well, right? So mosses, I have already discussed this with you. How do they look like? Okay, so don't worry if you do not gather it very well. So this part you will have to revise by yourself. I'll give these notes to you and then you can finish it. Alright. So basically we have completed the liverworts. We have completed the mosses also in a way. So liverworts, why do we call them liverworts? Because liverworts look lever-like in organization, almost a triangular shape, a thallus shape. Bryophyta can also be called thallophyta as well. Okay, so let's summarize the bryophyta. Bryophyta basically consists of liverworts and mosses. We have just studied the life cycle of bryophyta, and basically life cycle of bryophyta is also life cycle of mosses in general. Okay. Liverworts, why do we call them liverworts? Because they look like lever in shape. Mosses are called mosses because they are very soft. Okay, so somebody gave the name moss and that is still standing by. Okay, so let me complete the examples of liverworts. Example of liverworts are Marchantia, Anthoceros, etc. Okay. When I talk about mosses, they are slightly more advanced bryophytes. Mosses, they are characterized by their leafy appearance, they have leaf-like, stem-like and root-like structures. Leaf-like, stem-like and root-like structures. Mosses are also called mussae, but that is for another time. There are few advanced bryophytes as well. Life cycle is characterized by presence of protonema stage in life cycle. Protonema stage. Protonema is a green filamentous structure. Green filamentous alga-like structure. Green filamentous alga-like structure. All right. Protonema is this green filamentous alga-like structure. If you want to draw it, it's like this. And presence of protonema stage proves that bryophytes are descended from alga. So basically, alga are the ancestors of bryophyta. This is proved by protonema stage. So this is a question that comes in the NEET examination. Algal ancestry. Algal ancestry is proved by presence of protonema stage in mosses. Examples of bryophytes of mosses category are sphagnum, okay. Sphagnum is called peat moss. Funaria. Funaria is the most common moss. Common moss. All right. Now let us finish the last part of bryophyta, economic importance of bryophyta. Economic importance of bryophyta. Sphagnum or peat moss is used in packing plant materials because it retains a lot of moisture, because it retains a lot of moisture. So in packing of plants which require a hot humid condition, humid atmosphere, we can use sphagnum. It retains a lot of moisture, and moisture retention capacity of sphagnum is many times of its own weight. So sphagnum was also used, sphagnum was used in Second World War as absorbent in place of cotton, because cotton was in great shortage. As cotton, it has natural antiseptic properties as well. Natural antiseptic properties. Okay, because it has natural antiseptic properties, so used in dressing of wounds by soldiers. It can be grown anywhere. You throw it in a pond and it starts growing. So this is how they used to treat the wounds in Second World War. Sphagnum is also used as, sphagnum has a lot of uses. Sphagnum gets deposited in huge deposits of fossilized peat. It is used as fuel, like coal, because fossilization is very easy, because it has antibacterial properties, it is acidic, so it will not get decomposed easily, and because of that, fossils have been formed by one layer of sphagnum being deposited over the other, like coal. This is about Bryophyta. Bryophyta is finished. Okay, so let's write about Pteridophyta now. Please put the heading Pteridophyta. Pteridophyta. So what are pteridophytes? Have you seen pteridophytes? Have you seen pteridophytes? Yes or no? Have you seen pteridophytes? Give me a second. Have you seen pteridophytes? Yes or no? Okay, so is there an issue? Alright, so let me show you some pteridophytes. This is an example of pteridophyte. These are basically ferns that I am talking about here. So this is not pteridophyte, it's actually bryophyta. This is again bryophyta. This is again bryophyta, and this is actually the sporophyte of capsule of bryophyta. Okay, so I wanted to show you the life cycle of pteridophytes. So this is basically the life cycle of pteridophytes, and there are some structures here, right? So let us come back here. All right. Okay. There is a small issue here. All right. So please write pteridophytes represent the ferns and fern-like plants. Ferns and fern-like plants. These plants, the pteridophytes, are found close to running streams of water and water source, because water is essential for fertilization. Because water is essential for fertilization or completing the life cycle. Completing the life cycle of the plant. All right. So please note that it is down quickly. Just wanted to Okay, so all right. So let's start with how the pteridophytes are basically completing their life cycle in their division. Look, pteridophytes are of various kinds, but regarding their life cycle, there are a few things that you should know. Pteridophyte life cycle basically starts with a plant producing spores of normally one kind. So most pteridophytes are said to be homosporous in nature. However, there are exceptions among pteridophytes in which there are more than one kind of spores being produced. This condition is called heterospory. Heterospory means producing spores of more than one kind. And later you will come to know that heterospory is a characteristic feature of gymnosperms and angiosperms in which seeds are formed. So we can say that heterospory is the beginning of seed habit. Producing two kind of spore is the beginning of seed habit, and this is a very, very important question both for your NEET exams and both for your board exams or school level exams. So let me write this down for you. Most ferns are homosporous. However, few ferns are heterosporous. And heterosporous becomes a very important point. Heterospory is said to be the beginning of seed habit. Beginning of seed habit. Heterospory is the beginning of seed habit. Okay, and you should learn the names of heterosporous ferns, which are very important for your exams. Heterosporous ferns. Example: Selaginella. Selaginella is a heterosporous fern, heterosporous pteridophyte. This statement also please learn it by heart. Heterospory is the beginning of seed habit, and heterospory is first seen in pteridophyte. Selaginella and Marsilia. Selaginella is very important. Marsilia you can leave. If you don't want to remember, it's okay. But don't forget Selaginella. Heterospory is first seen in. Heterospory is first seen in pteridophyte, in Selaginella or Marsilia. We cannot call all fern as heterosporous, one or two only. Heterosporous was seen in Pteridophyta. Now let us talk about how Pteridophyta look like, what are their root, stem, leaf like. So please write about this. The pteridophytes are the first plants in which plant organs are seen for first time. In which plant organs are first seen. They have true root, true stem, and true leaf. They have true roots, stem, and leaf. Root, regarding root, how does root look like? Normally we can see only adventitious roots are found. Adventitious root is found. Stem. Stem runs parallel to the ground. It is called rhizome. Okay. Flat cylindrical rhizome or cylindrical rhizome runs parallel to ground. Runs parallel to ground. Leaf may be of two types. Leaf may be of two types. Leaf can be very small. Very small leaves are called microphyllous. Large leaves are called macrophyllous or frond. Small microphyllous, small leaves called microphyllous, or large leaves called macrophyllous. Micro or macrophyllous. Large microphyllous leaves are also called fronds. Fronds. Example is fern. Ferns are example of large macrophyllous leaves. Alright, so let's continue. Small microphyllous leaf example is equisetum. equisetum. Ferns, example of fern is Dryopteris. Okay, and Dryopteris, Pteris, Pteridium. Lots of ferns are there. Ferns are very common. Some years ago, there was a question asked in the examination, that NEET examination, that if there is a forest fire and all the plants are burned out, which plants will be first seen after the forest fire? The answer is pteridophytes. Why? Because pteridophytes have almost underground or parallels to the ground stem. So underground part will remain. Over all the things that are above the surface of soil, they will be burnt in forest fire. But everything that is below the soil, that will not be burnt. So they will survive. That's what happens in forest fire. So in forest fire, the first plants to appear are pteridophytes, because they have rhizome stem, and rhizome will basically give rise to new plants as soon as the fire is burnt out. There are a lot of nutrients, and reutilizing those nutrients, the plants will quickly grow. So this question you can also write if you want to. Okay. So let's study fern life cycle. For some reason I am not able to insert the picture. I want to. All right. Okay, no problem. So let us continue where we left off. Sorry, where we just want to go. You have to write life cycle of pteridophyta. Now we have to complete life cycle of pteridophytes. Life cycle of pteridophytes. So where do we start the life cycle? We start the life cycle with an adult adult plant. Adult plant is normally like this. It has huge leaves called fronds, macrophyllous leaves. This is how fern leaves are. You've seen such plants. It must be in your school. Used for decoration because these are evergreen plants. And below the basically below the ground, underground stem called rhizome is there like this. It runs parallel to the ground surface, and adventitious roots are given off like this. Okay. So this is the rhizome. This is the rhizome. This is the adventitious root. This is the leaf. This is a compound bipinnate leaf. Whole leaf is a like this. This is a whole leaf. This part is a whole leaf. And on the underside of leaf, on the lower side of leaf, there are two brown dot-like structures in multiple rows. So if I take a leaf and it is the reproductive season for the fern. On the underside of this leaflet, there are two rows of many spore producing organs. It is called sorus. On the underside of this leaf, many spore producing structures are present. Because this is the adult plant and it is producing spore, so this is called a sporophytic generation. Sporophyte. Sporophyte. Now we take this sporophyte and take this sporophyte and it is producing spore. So where is the spore producing structure? It is here. On the underside of the leaf. Okay, let me enlarge it, otherwise you will not be able to understand. This is a leaflet. On this leaflet, in two rows, brown colored sorus, plural is sorae, are present. And in each sorus, many spore mother cells are present. And in each sorus, many spore mother cells are present. They divide by meiosis to give rise to spores. So basically this is a sorus. In the sorus, by meiosis, in the sorus by meiosis, spores are produced, and all spores are of same shape and size. All these spores are of same shape and size. All these spores are of same shape and size. These spores are produced by meiosis. So sporophyte represents a diploid generation. Sorus is also diploid, but when meiosis is happening, okay, you can also write inside the sorus, instead of sorus, please write, because not every cell of sorus is going to give spore. Please write spore mother cell instead of sorus. Spore mother cell undergoes meiosis, gives rise to spore, and after meiosis, cell becomes haploid. So this is haploid. Spore germinates on moist soil. Germinates on moist soil. Okay. Spores germinate on moist soil. and after they germinate, they give rise to thallus-like structure called prothallus. It's a green colored thallus-like structure, heart-shaped structure called prothallus. These are rhizoids. It's called prothallus. In this prothallus, many antheridia and archegonia are present. These red colored structure, these are antheridia. Antheridia are male reproductive organs. Antheridia. This is male reproductive structure. This is archegonia. This is female reproductive structure. Antheridia produce male gametes. Male gametes swim by flagellum. They have flagella. They swim towards the female reproductive organ. Female reproductive organ, archegonia, are present towards the apical notch. Look, these are many parts of this structure. So this is a heart-shaped structure. Near the upper part, archegonia are present. Archegonia closer to the water surface or the surface of the prothallus, and they can easily receive the male gametes. The male gametes swim in water. In swimming, you do not know which direction to go. So the female gametes, female reproductive organs, they produce some chemicals. Name of the chemical is malic acid, and it attracts the sperms to come towards it. Wherever the concentration is increasing, sperm will come towards it. If the concentration is decreasing, sperm will change direction and move in the opposite direction towards the direction of released chemicals. That is how it will know where to go. Male gametes or antherozoids, archegonia produces female gametes. Female gametes. The male and the female gametes, they are fused together. The male and the female gametes are fused together. This forms a zygote. Zygote grows inside the prothallus on archegonia, grows into embryo. Embryo grows into adult sporophytic plant. This is the complete life cycle. Female gametes. Female gamete is called egg. Egg is fused with the sperms. forms zygote. Look, zygote will be 2n. Egg is haploid. Sperm is haploid. So this whole prothallus, it is also haploid. Okay. So this is about life cycle of pteridophyta. Everybody has finished this life cycle now? Should I move on further? This is also shown in this diagram here. Haploid and diploid generation shown by separate colors. Okay. Prothallus is a green heart-shaped structure. Okay. So fertilization forms new sporophyte. Right. So this is the life cycle of ferns. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so So just a quick revision of what we have done. Land plants are connected to chara. Chara is a green alga. So chara basically shows the evolution of sex organs. Okay. Sporangia is something which produces spores. Okay. This is a fern gametophyte called prothallus. So this is the actual diagram of this. You can see it's green colored and it's heart shaped. So this heart shaped structure is not fictional, it's actually seen in nature. Okay, it's not that, is the only thing is that our heart is, human heart is not of this shape. Everybody knows it, right? So, okay, so I just wanted to show you that diagram. Right, so this is enough. Was something else. I made actually many slides. I'm not sure which one I wanted to show you for that. Now, non-flowering plants include algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta. Up till now, we have not seen any flowers. In gymnosperms also, you will not see any flowers. So, flowering plants includes only and only angiosperms. In gymnosperms, however, seed formation is seen. So in the next group which we are going to study, in gymnosperms we will first see the development of seed. Okay. The next part which we are going to study is the gymnosperms and the angiosperms. So moss we have already seen. Sorry, just a second. Yeah, moss we have already seen. Okay, so I told you that this was a sporophyte. This is the actual sporophyte in cross section. Foot-seta capsule. So capsule is releasing the spores here. You can see this in this diagram. I can give you this slide later. Right. So next is the pteridophyta. This is the fern that I was talking to you about. Okay. And this large leaf is called a frond. Okay. And this individual leaflet is called pinnae. Rhizome is also seen in this figure. Root is also seen in this figure. Okay. All three parts are visible. Okay. These are examples of some ferns. Polypodium, okay, pteris, pteridium, Dryopteris, okay. And this is sorus. I was talking to you about sorus, right? This is the underside of the fern. You can see sorus here. Everybody can see sorus here. Yes? So this is how sorus looks like. Ferns are found in basically damp and shady places. Okay. On the top side of leaf, you will not see any spore producing organ. On the underside of leaf only, you can see it like this. This is the underside of the leaf on the left hand side. Two diagrams. Okay. Then we have the gymnosperms, and gymnosperms are everybody has seen gymnosperms. Can you recognize this tree or plant? It is found around you. Everybody should recognize this. Please write the name of this gymnosperm. Come on, gymnosperm is the next plant group we have to do. Yeah, it's obvious. I am asking you a very easy question. Just want to know that you really recognize it or not. Just want to make sure. That's all. Unfortunately, I have not been to your center yet, so I wanted to have a one-on-one discussion with you. I wanted to know what you people, how you people study, how you people prepare. So for some reasons, I cannot visit you at this moment right now, but I am looking to visit you in the next year. That is in the end of the session, I will probably be there. So this is pinus tree. I hope everybody remembers. This is nothing else than pinus. This is pinus tree or devdal tree, needle shaped leaves. So everybody has seen this. I'm sure everybody has seen this. Male and female cones. Okay. So this is the next plant group we are going to continue. Okay. So let's take a pause and complete. The life cycle is completed. Examples of pteridophytes. Equisetum, Dryopteris, Pteris, etc. Students, you are very quiet today. Is this part clear to you? Say yes or no. You are abnormally quiet today. I'm not sure what's the reason. Can you hear me at least? Can you hear me? Is your chat not working, I guess? There are no responses today. After. Okay, thank you. I was worried that the chat is not working or something. Alright, thank you. Alright, so let's move on to the last plant group that is there. Let's write about gymnosperms. Gymnosperms. Gymnos means naked. Gymnos means naked, sperma means seed. So gymnosperms is that group of plants which has naked seed organization. Those plants which have naked seeds, they are put under gymnosperms. This group of plants was first described by a German philosopher, I should say. Actually, he is also the father of botany, and quite a few, should I say, most of the Greek philosophers, they have been scientists. So one such scientist was Theophrastus, who is also called as father of botany. Theophrastus is called the father of botany, and Theophrastus first described gymnosperms. They were first described by Theophrastus. Theophrastus is also called as the father of botany. So it's a very small group of plants. Gymnosperms represents a very small group of living plants. Previously they were dominant, but later on they were fully replaced by angiosperms. Represents a very small group of living plants. Many species have become extinct, and some are called living fossils also. Living plants. Gymnosperms, they represent a very small group of living plants. So let us understand their habit, their habitat. Okay. So first put the heading habit, and then we'll talk about their habitat. Habit means what do they look like? So gymnosperms are basically shrubs or trees. They are no herbaceous gymnosperms. They are all woody. So there will be no herbaceous gymnosperms, and most of them are trees. Only one is a shrub. It is called ephedra. They are woody plants. They are woody plants. They are either shrubs or trees. Actually, there is only one shrub. And that is ephedra. Ephedra is a plant from which a substance called ephedrine is extracted. Ephedrine is used by bronchial asthma patients, by people who take part in Olympics, and they take ephedrine drug to boost their performance, because ephedrine increases the diameter of the bronchial tube. The bronchial passage, it increases the diameter of that respiratory passage, and people are able to take more oxygen in, and so their physical performance is increased significantly for athletes. So it's a very abused drug, and in doping, anti-doping measures, we also test for ephedra. They're either shrubs or trees. Habitat. All the gymnosperms, they basically dominate the cold landscape region of the world. They are found in predominantly in colder regions of Earth. Okay. However, there is an exception. Like just like all gymnosperms are trees, there is exception of ephedra. There is exception to this. Exception is cycas. Cycas is found in warmer climates also. Exception. Cycas found in warmer climate regions. Okay. And why are they found in colder climates only? Why not dominate the warm regions? Can anybody give me the answer? Can you guess? Why found in cold climates only? Actually, in warmer regions, they are replaced by angiosperms. So now, can you tell me why they are why they are less angiosperms in very cold regions? Why they are having only gymnosperms there, like coniferous forest in upper Himalayan regions. They have only pinus, devdar, gymnosperm trees only. Why? Christmas tree shape, almost like. So Christmas tree shapes trees are basically, they are gymnosperms only in the colder climates. So why are they found in such regions? What is the reason? No answer. Because gymnosperms have xerophytic adaptations. They are very well suited to conserving water. In cold climate, the thing is, water is available as snow. In the summer months, there is shortage of water. Only the water present in the soil as moisture, the plants which are able to show some xerophytic adaptations, they can only survive. So gymnosperms are well suited for this kind of phenomenon because they have xerophytic adaptations. Angiosperms are not suited for this habitat. So that is why in colder climates, gymnosperms dominate. The reason is gymnosperms have better xerophytic adaptations than angiosperms. So habitat, like this. All right. Last thing is, sorry, not last thing. Actually, now after this, we have to cover root, stem, leaf, and it will take some time to explain what is the type of root found in gymnosperms. Mainly taproot is there. Adventitious root is totally not there. And stem, Christmas tree habit, excrement or cortex, leaf, type of leaf, so xerophytic adaptation, leaf has to be explained. Then the type of wood that is found in gymnosperm, soft wood, hard wood, and spatial adaptations found in the wood xylem. No vessels are there, only tracheids are present. In phloem, sieve cells are there, sieve element are absent. Companion cells are absent in the leaf, in the phloem, and instead of that, albuminous cells are present. All these things I will have to take in the next class. So in the next class, this will be definitely finished, and plant kingdom will also be basically finished. So it will take hardly half an hour. So in the next class, we will start, after plant kingdom, we will start with morphology of angiosperms, and after that, anatomy. So now your course is getting back on the track. So please pay attention to the classes, and please try to revise, because if you don't revise, you will not be able to remember, and this will lead to some gaps. Okay, so don't want to start it right now, otherwise in the next class it might become difficult for you to remember. So next class I will take this. Okay, so thank you dear students, travel back home safely, and good night. Thank you.